My name is Jaden.
I'm Caden.
I'm Eli.
And we're Yahoo and Bitchute Channel, and this is Youth For Yah.
We thank you guys so much for joining us. We thank you guys so much for spending your time, your well-beloved time with us to learn a little bit of the Torah. We are on the second channel at the moment because we are dealing with some evil. We're dealing with great evil on people that put their names on Yah and say they're doing something for Yah when in turn it is for the opposite, quite the opposite. So we are on the second channel. If you guys don't see 31 and 32 and somehow this makes it back to the main channel many days down the road, here we are. We are trying to finish up Proverbs. We have 2 chapters left, so we are going to get through those. It's been a very great journey to go through Proverbs, which has been 31 chapters for one day a week, where we come down and we spend 30-40 minutes with you guys depending on the chapter, and you guys would all spend time. You guys would come, and we really appreciate it. We really enjoy your friendship, your companionship, your input, what you guys have to say and what you guys have to ask, your questions, your comments, your prayers, anything you have. We really appreciate all that. So if you have questions, prayers, comments, just drop it down in the comment section. We'll be sure to see it as soon. As always, we don't know when channels are going to be around. We don't know when channels are going to disappear. So here we go with the second channel, and if it does not here tomorrow, then you can find us in the links in the description. They are all there right now. You can check Telegram links in the description. All that is there, and we hope you guys have a great time.
Shalom, Tess. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you caught us live as well.
All right, we're going to begin in Proverbs 30.
Now, 30 is a different kind of chapter. It's not the same Solomon, it's a different guy. But it's a different chapter. It's not like we're not getting things like we normally have, where it's like do this, do that. You shouldn't do that. If you want to have wisdom, do this. It's quite different. So let's see what it has to say.
And before we begin, sorry to interrupt you. Before we begin, Eli is reading out of the NIV, KJV, and the Sefer. I am reading out of the Restored Name Scriptures, formerly known as the HS Scriptures, but we don't mention their name because you say anything about them and they will strike your channel. So here we are.
Proverbs 30, verse 1. The words of Agur, the son of Yake, even the prophecy, the man spoke unto Ethiel, even unto Ithiel and Ukal. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. The NIV says, the sayings of Agur, son of Jake, an inspired utterance, this man's utterance to Ithiel. I am weary, Elohim, but I can prevail. Surely I am only a brute, not a man. I do not have human understanding.
So we begin where we have a very different tone, right? He doesn't start with my son or listen up, because this isn't Solomon, right? This is someone else. This is Agur. This is the son of Yakeh.
And it's all about how you look at it, because he could be being very humble here. He'd be just being a humble person.
Like, he'd be the smartest person around.
And he's just being humble. Or he might just be dumb.
Verse 3. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. Who has ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fist?
So this is something we see where we have something like, we have Job, who was like, where Yahuwah asks him, he's like, so have you know the way of a bird? Do you know these things? He's like, no. He goes, only I know these things. It's where Yakeh is asking, who can compare to Elohim? Who compares to what he can do? Who goes up and out of the Shalim? Who can do these things? And no mere human can. These are things that Yakeh does not understand, or Agur, the son of Yakeh, does not understand, is how these things work, right? Not a lot of people understand them. Maybe Enoch understood them, but to a mere human, these are miracles to us, right? The way things work, how grass grows, how it all grows. We may have a science base of it, we may have a basic scientific idea of it, but we do not have the beginning of Yah's planning, how he figured this out, how he came up with it, how he just said a word and it came to be.
Shalom, Cindy. Thanks for joining us, sis.
Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if you can tell?
So we get to a point where we see he's talking about Elohim, right? Where he's talking about Elohim. He's like, who can do these things? Who has gathered water in a garment? If you put water in a garment, it's just going to go out, right? A regular garment back then was probably thin. It was probably linen. It probably wasn't very thick. It probably wasn't going to be able to hold very much water. So holding water in that was going to be very hard. And he's like, who is his son's name, if you know it? And nowadays, we know it. We know that is Yahushua the Messiah, the one who died for our sins.
But it shows he's very wise and understanding, because he knows that there is a son of Elohim. He knows somebody, and he might even know his name. He might actually be somebody who knows it. But you see, this is quite a few generations before. I believe this is about 28 generations, maybe, before Yehoshua ever came along. Something like that, don't quote me on that. But it's something of very many generations. So he knew before there was ever talk about a son that Yahuwah had a son. So he actually has some wisdom. So up above where he said he was more stupid than any, he actually has some wisdom, and he knows a lot more than other people, because some people still deny the son when this guy still accepts him. So he has a lot of wisdom.
Verse 5. Every word of Allah is pure. He's a shield unto them that put their trust in him. And the NIV says, every word of Elohim is flawless. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him.
So if every word of Yah is flawless, what does that make the Torah? That
makes it flawless, because a lot of people will say it's done away with. It was hard.
It was a bad idea.
It was too hard for the people, and he understood that. No, every word that comes out of his mouth is flawless. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he executes it perfectly. Everything he does, he is doing perfection. All his words are perfect, and then his words are like a shield unto you. He is a shield unto you. He's a refuge. We've talked about before how rich men build their own castles, but Yahuwah is the castle for the righteous, right? And money always goes away. Money can be spent. Money can be burnt. Money can be taken away.
It comes and goes. It goes in and it goes out. Even if you're rich, you can't take it to death with you. It's not going to protect you in your day of judgment. You may be able to buy your way out of some situations, but when Yahuwah comes raining down with an iron fist on the world, are you going to hide in your money castle, or are you going to hide in Yah? Is Yah going to be your security?
Verse 6. Add not unto his words, lest he reprove you, and you be found a liar. And he says, do not add to his words, or he will rebuke you and prove you a liar.
So he here quotes the Torah. He's not add unto Yahuwah's words, because Yahuwah's words are perfect. And if you add something to it, like they do in Judaism, where they add all sorts of laws, or the Christians, where they take away the laws, they see his words are perfect, his laws are perfect, and you take it away. Yahuwah will prove you a liar when you say, "Oh well, you said to do this, and you didn't, and you told me to do this, and you added to it, and you create extra commands, or you took away from the commands." You will be a liar in the day of judgment. You will be a liar in front of the people that thought you were telling the truth. And so you want to be telling the truth. You only want to say what he says. And here Yakeh, he does show he has some wisdom. He does show he is smart, because he is showing the commandments. He's talking about the commandments.
Verse 7. 2 things have I required of you. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Yeah, he says, 2 things I ask of you, Yahuwah. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread.
What an excellent thing. What an excellent thing to walk in the path to, and to ask Yahuwah to say, please just give me these things. Remove the falsehood and lying word far from me. We have a world where all it is we have lies, we have deception, we have people that speak falsehood. You don't know who's lying anymore and who's not. You don't know the truth in the world. You don't know if something is real or not. You don't know what people are thinking, and they continually spit out lies. And he says, keep those far away from me. And the second thing he says is, don't give me too much, or don't give me too little, lest he be too full of himself, lest he be too prideful in his eyes. And where he says that he is going to basically deny Yahuwah. And then if he's too poor, he says, don't let me be too poor, lest I steal, lest I do evil, because I am so hungry.
Verse 9. Lest I be full and deny you, and say, who is Yahuwah? Or lest I be poor, and steal, and take the name of my Elohim in vain. Accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse you, and you be found guilty. And he says, do not slander a servant to their master, or they will curse you, and you will pay for it.
So here he said, he's basically saying don't accuse. Basically, don't accuse falsely to a master. He's basically saying don't do evil things, because when you're a servant as well, and you go, hey, my fellow coworker here is doing this, and you're trying to get him out of there because he has a better job than you, or a better position, or you're trying to get that promotion. And because they're both fighting that promotion, then you go and slander him, make him worse, and that cannot be true. You lose everything you've been working for because of that slandering, because of that accusation, and you want to be a true witness. We talked about this, and if any of you who follow along with our Spanish, we talked about it not too long ago that we were following along. We were following along with the accusationers and those who weren't. That he would teach us to be a right testifier. What is that word called? Witness.
Testimony, witness. Yeah.
Verse 11. There's a generation that cursed their father, and does not bless their mother. There is a generation that appear in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. The NIV says, there are those who curse their fathers, and do not bless their mothers, those who are pure in their own eyes, and yet are not cleansed of their filth. Those whose eyes are haughty, whose glances are so disdainful.
I mean, we can look at the world and we can pretty much see this is pretty much this generation. No kids want to listen to their parents. No kids, they want to do everything they want. They're prideful, they're haughty, and if they're not raised up in the right way, if they're not raised up in the Torah, or they have kind of biblical foundation, then they stray away very, very far, and they go with the world. They do it, hang out with their friends. They do what the world wants. They don't care what their parents say, and they think they're better than everyone. And if you try to teach the kids, especially people our age, we've tried before, they don't accept it. We don't have friends our age because of that reason, because they live on a different basis. They do what they want to do. They live like the world, and they are evil people. And they don't. And if you try to teach them, they think you're some kind of crazy, insane person, because they don't want to listen. They don't want to hear what you have to say about believing the Torah and telling them there's a better way. Because if you tell them the way and they believe that, then they have to give up their worldly ways, all their lusts, everything in this world they have to get rid of. So they don't want to do that. So they outcast you for following Yahuwah.
Verse 14. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. Yeah, he says, those whose teeth are swords, whose jaws are set with knives, to devour the poor from the earth, and the needy from among mankind.
That's something we see very common nowadays, is that we see people that will take the poor and they will destroy the poor before them. Even they will hurt them, they will attack them because they're poor, and that's what the people do. And that's what Yahuwah says not to do. Yahuwah said, don't do these things. Yahuwah said, watch out for the poor, take care of the poor, love the poor. Those are what we're commanded to do, and people will run away from those commands. That's one of the most important things, is to care for the poor. That's one of the most important things Yahuwah has said, because it's repeated so many times throughout the Bible that the poor needs to be taken care of.
Verse 15. The horse leech has $2, crying, give, give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yea, 4 things say not, it is enough. Then he says, the leech has $2. Give, give, they cry. There are 3 things that are never satisfied, for that never say, enough.
Now, I want to say it's talking about an actual leech, because if you anyone knows a leech are kind of like blood-sucking parasites, and they take from you, and they just keep they make you sick, and they take your blood and stuff. But I think that's what it's talking about. But that's kind of like the world. The world becomes like this. The world becomes like, give me, give me, give me. Instead of trying to give out to the world, trying to teach the world, they want everything. They want the world for themselves, and they go for the worldly riches instead of Yahuwah's riches, instead of the riches in the kingdom. They don't think about the next life, because all they care about is this life, right? Like Christian Pastor Joel Osteen said, right? He's not really a Christian pastor, kind of Satanist, but he says live your best life now, and so many people follow him, listen to him, because he's a Christian preacher. But so they do what they want. They live their best life now, and so they don't look for the kingdom. They don't look for things. They want to do what they want now. And when they get to that kingdom, what will they be denied? Will they be entered? If they even enter, will they have anything?
Sheol and the barren womb, the earth that is not filled with water, and the fire that says not, it is enough. The NIV says, the grave, the barren womb, land, which is never satisfied with water, and fire, which never says enough.
So it's kind of now we're on to what does the earth do? It's like this is the stuff that we can do. It just keeps going, right? The water goes, the fire goes, the trees and all the plants grow. Nothing, you can't stop that from happening.
It never says enough.
It is the creation of Yahuwah, right? People grow, our hair grows all the time, right? How often do you have to cut your hair? How often do you have to clip your nails? It's something that Yahuwah created. How many people here can actually think of something and think out of nowhere, right? Just you have nothing to work with, but you can just create something out of thin air. No one can do that. You can make stuff, but you can't create anything.
Verse 17. The eye that mocks at his father and despises to obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagle shall eat it. And he says, the eye that mocks the father, that scorns an aged mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures.
So it says your eye is going to get pecked out. If you have evil in your eyes towards your parents raised you, they brought you into this world, they should be delivered with absolute respect. Whether they were good parents or they were bad parents as you were growing up, none of that matters, because they're older age, they're getting older, they need to be taken care of. You should at least honor them out in death. They raised you up to where you were. Give them some love, give them some respect, show them the Torah if they're not in the Torah, show them the love of Yahushua, and maybe their ways will change. When you show love and not hatred, when you show kindness and not hatefulness, when you show the open arms that Yahushua gave us, people change. People see things. People change their attitudes towards how they view certain things. And one of the things that's most hated because people hate is Yahushua. People hate those things because we go out as humans and we say Yahushua loves you, and then we are evil people, and that just shows that the people of Yahushua aren't actually people of Yahushua. Therefore, they hate Yahushua. But if you would show this, you would turn more people with love than you do with anger.
Verse 18. There are 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid. The NIV says, there are 3 things that are too amazing for me, 4 that I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of the ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a young woman.
This guy, he's dumbfounded. He doesn't understand these things, right? How an eagle knows where to fly. How do birds know to go south for the winter? How do they know this? How do we know that the snake on the rock? How do we know he knows how to get back home? How do we know he knows where to go find food? All these things he doesn't understand. The way of a man with a woman. These things they do not know.
These are the mighty creations of Yahuwah. And there's so many things in this world. There's so many creations, thousands and millions of insects, millions of bugs, and they're just small. So you can't even see them. They're so small. But Yahuwah has created so many great things, and we can't quite understand how He made this happen, how this was created. We don't understand these types of things. And that's what He's saying is Yahuwah is so great in power that we need to respect and honor Him because of the things He's created. That we cannot do these kind of things. If He created us, He can absolutely destroy us.
Verse 20. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth, and says, I've done nothing wrong. Sefer says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth, and says, I have done no wickedness.
That's the thing evil people do. Adulterers, they will wipe their hands. They'll say, I've done no wrong. I've done no evil. I'm just doing what I do. And that's evil in the eyes of Yahuwah. To say that you have done no wickedness when you've done wickedness is evil. That is wicked in the eyes of Yah. And you shouldn't be adulterous. That is something that will end you up in hell, to be an adulterous person.
Right, that is a sin. It says, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not do these kind of things. And if you do these kind of things, you are breaking the Torah. And like James said, if you break one command, least of the commands, you break them all. Because it's like the law, right? You break one of the laws, you break the law. You're still breaking the law.
Verse 21. For 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigns, a fool when he is filled with meat, for an odious woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress. The NIV says, under 3 things the earth trembles, under 4 it cannot bear up. A servant who becomes king, a Elohimless fool who gets plenty to eat, a contemptible woman who gets married, and a servant who displaces her mistress.
So here we go. He says things, earth falls when these things, earth trembles, the earth is scared when these things happen. When a fool becomes king.
A person without Yahuwah becomes king, somebody who can barely talk. That is a problem. We don't want the people that can't think, that can't talk, that's not a king. That is somebody else being ruled by other people. Because if they're trying to make decisions to lead a country or a nation, then they are not truly in charge of the nation. You want someone who is wise, who is with Yahuwah, who can lead a country, who can do the right things. We have David. He had Yahuwah. He was good. Look what happened to his grandchildren and his grandchildren, all his descendants. When they followed the Torah, one of his descendants followed the Torah, they were blessed. The nation was blessed. Yisrael thrived. But when they fall out of the covenant, they were cursed. They lost. When Rehoboam was king, they started losing the reign. They lost all Yisrael and they split in half because of his wickedness. Right? Yahudah had complete control of Yisrael, but they lost it because of their wickedness. And that's the same that happens to these people without Yahuwah. That's why it trembles when a fool takes over the kingdom, because the kingdom will crumble and things like this will happen.
Verse 24. There be 4 things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. The ants are a people, not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. The conies are but a field folk, yet make their houses in the rocks. The locusts have no king, yet go they forth, all of them by bands. The spider takes hold with her hands, and is in the king's palaces. The NIV says, 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes are creatures of little power, yet they make their home in the crags. Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. A lizard can be caught with the hand, yet is found in king's palaces.
So, it says these things that are amazing things, right? They're so wise, yet he doesn't understand it because Yahuwah has created such amazing things. And this goes to show how wise this guy is. That he can point these things out, that he can show how wise Yahuwah is, how intelligent Yahuwah is, how powerful he is. Because he makes ants, right? That they're small things, right? Compared to a human, they get crushed easily. They're easily killed. They're easily destroyed. But they go out and they prepare their food for the winter. They know when cold is coming. They know when heat is coming. They can prepare themselves underground by going and getting food and storing up for the times. The spiders, they can prepare their own food. They build their house. They build their traps. They build these things that are specifically designed for these things. They get rid of bugs. They sit in the corners of your houses. They build these spider webs. If you look at a spider web, look how intricate it is. Look how detailed just a single spider web is. And just think to yourself that Yah has created amazing things. And humans are so much more than this. Yah has created so much more. And there we are.
Verse 29. There be three things which go well, yea, four are comely and going. A lion which is strongest among beasts, and turns not away for any. A greyhound, and a he-goat also, and a king, against whom there is no rising up. The NIV says, there are three things which are stately in their stride, four that move with stately bearing. A lion, mighty among beasts, who retreats for nothing. A strutting rooster, a he-goat, and a king, secure against revolt.
So these kind of things are strong. They're powerful. These things are just not even an ounce of Yahuwah's power. They're such small things. And you might say, well, I fear the lion. Well, if you fear a lion, right? Imagine standing in front of a lion, and you're fear that he's going to eat you and destroy you. But if the lion were to tell you to, hey, climb that tree and I won't eat you, would you do it? That's the same way you should feel about Yahuwah. When you're in front of Yahuwah, you're in front of Yahuwah all day long. You should look at the Torah. Yahuwah said, do not break these commands. That's how you should feel, because if not, you will get eaten. Yahuwah will destroy you. And it's the same way. You stand in front of the lion and he gives you commands. You're going to do it so that he doesn't eat you. It's the same thing for Yahuwah. You need to have that kind of fear and respect. You need to respect his power, because if you don't respect his power, you will be destroyed and he will eat you. If you mock his power, right? If you laugh at the lion that's coming your way, you will be eaten.
Verse 32. If you have done foolishly in lifting yourself up, or if you have thought evil, lay your hand upon your own mouth. Surely the churning of milk brings forth butter, and the wringing of the nose brings forth blood. So the forcing of wrath brings forth strife. The NIV says, if you play the fool and exalt yourself, or if you plan evil, clap your hand over your mouth. For as churning cream produces butter, and as the twisting of the nose produces blood, so stirring up anger produces strife.
So here we go. The final thing of Agur, son of Yakeh, say is, don't cause evil. If you're plotting evil, if you're thinking evil, you need to stop yourself. Put your hand over your mouth.
Stop from speaking evil. If you are a fool or someone who wants to say evil things or attack others or cause strife, then you should just put your hand over your mouth and walk away. Don't speak these things. Don't say these kind of things. Don't do it. Then talk about churning butter. If you get hit in the nose, you might bleed. Churning milk will turn into butter. If anyone's ever made butter by hand, it's a process.
You have to really work on it. You have to sit there and you have to stir it up and stir it up and stir it up.
And sometimes you can do it homemade. You do your own little things in a jar and stuff. I don't remember how to do it. We did it before. Where you take it and you shake up a jar for a while. You shake for a while until the butter starts coming along, and you actually get to see the process. But these are the creations of Yah. You shake the milk long enough, it will become butter.
And if you shake humans long enough, they're going to bring forth wrath. He says, if you stir up wrath, there's going to be strife. There's going to be anger. There's going to be a lot of problems.
All right, I think that is all. If you guys don't forget to join our Telegram group, you can join. Click the link below if you're down on Telegram. And then down below at the very bottom, after you click the link, it'll send you to the Telegram app. Click join down below so you can join and start talking with us. You can see the messages, but if you don't click join, I don't think you can text in it. So make sure you click join down below, because some other people said they missed that. So in case you don't know how to join, just click join down below. And we have the other channels you can go check out. If you have Yahuwah3, we have Rumble, and we also have Odysee, and some other ones that are probably down in the description.
Yeah, in case we're not here tomorrow on this channel, and you guys can go to the main channel, or jbossman008, you know where to find us. You know where to come get us. If you want to talk to us personally in the group, we are in the Telegram group. So yeah, thank you guys so much for everything, and we hope to see you guys another time.
Yeah, and if you also need, if you have questions or you have comments, just leave them down in the comments below, or you can talk now. If you guys want to chat live, we are right here to chat with you live. And don't forget about the prayer. Don't forget about, if you guys need prayer for something, if you guys have something going on in your life you need prayer for, just ask for prayer. We will pray for you. We have a list. We pray for people. If you can, give us kind of an issue what's going on in your life. If you want us to pray for someone else, if you're someone else struggling in the faith, you have family members that need help or something, just ask us and we will pray for them.
All right, that is it. We hope you guys have a great week, a great Shabbat coming up. Don't forget to prepare for Shabbat. We'll talk probably more on that tomorrow.
Oh, and tonight
morning.
also is a new moon. Blow your shofars. Tonight is the new moon.
All right, that is true. We will see you guys soon.
Hey,
All right, shalom.
Shalom.